Hey there, this is Jo Delamore, and I want to share with you experience that I've had over this last year, a teaching that I've received that I feel is so valuable and so important for us to have some conversation about and open up to in our modern reality. And it's a teaching of the heart that I was able to receive through an intimate relationship with a beautiful man over this last winter. And we both actually were graced with this teaching of the heart as Spirit called us into a deeper form of courageous living, basically living from the heart. And courage has the same root in Latin as heart, and so a courageous person is somebody who can really live from his or her heart. So both my former partner and I were graced with these teachings of living through the heart, through experience. When we came into each other's lives, we had that initial attraction and connection that is, that beautiful falling in love that just busts open your heart. And of course, we had some fears at that point. We had some trepidation of, what would it mean to open our hearts to each other? What would it mean to come into relationship? It's always a risk, especially in this day and age. And so we had to face that and look. And when we looked beneath the surface, and when we looked at the message that the universe was offering us, we saw that the heart was saying yes. The heart was saying, this is a safe place to open. This is a beautiful opportunity for both of you. And so we both had the courage at that point to open our hearts. And I'm so grateful that we did, because what unfolded from there was a whole winter and spring of teachings of the heart, of learning what it means to open the heart again. For me, I had closed my heart pretty severely and had kept it closed and kept myself protected in this way for many, many, many years after my divorce and after some difficult relations. I decided that it was safer to, stay on my own, and it wasn't worth risking. And even though I knew mentally that that wasn't healthy, and I was trying to open my heart, and I was trying to figure out how do I bring my heart back to the world, what I realize now is that I needed this relationship in order to open my heart again, in order to learn how to be courageous again in my life. And it worked so well. I was so deeply loved by this beautiful partner over this last winter, and so deeply loved by Spirit and all of the lessons that were offered. And I was able to kind of open up and start to expose that heart, start to soften that hard shell. And I want to bring this into kind of a more practical example for you guys, so that you know what I'm talking about. This metaphor of the closed heart and the open heart is one thing, but what does that really look like in relation? And I feel that we really were able to learn what it really looks like in actual relation as we discovered that we weren't supposed to be together anymore, that our path wasn't going to continue to go side by side into this next immediate future. So what happened there is that we had really made family with each other, really felt so close and intimately connected, and really learned each other, really got to know each other. And as we came into the spring, we started to have some challenges. We were starting to trigger each other and have a little bit of a hard time with each other. And in the style of our relationship, and in the way that this partner was just so supportive and initiating of, we always would process what would happen. If there was a challenge, if there was a upset or a kind of agitation, we take it right to the center of our relationship and talk about it and look at it and try to learn from it and understand it. And so as these little triggers started to come up in the spring, we started to have conversations about where they were coming from and why we were feeling triggered in these ways and what was going on. And through those conversations, I became aware that the lifestyle that we were living, which basically was my lifestyle that he had come into, that he had tried to merge into, was not the most appropriate lifestyle for him. And that he wasn't actually really happy in that lifestyle. He loved me and he was happy with me in some ways, but the lifestyle itself wasn't supporting his highest nature. It wasn't supporting his deepest empowerment. And so through those conversations, I got to see that. And even though I was so overjoyed to be in a relationship, and I was so satisfied with having a partner in my life and a lover and a friend and somebody that was right there by my side, what I had longed for 7 years, I recognized that for him to stay in my house, in my community, in my lifestyle wasn't the best possible thing for him. And I loved him so deeply, and I do love him so deeply, and my heart is so open to him, and the energy of spirit flows through my heart towards him so strongly that in that moment of recognizing that this lifestyle wasn't serving him, I opened that up and said, I want you to do what serves you best. Even if it means not being here with me, I want you to do what serves you best. And that opened up this whole string of conversations where we explored, what does that look like? You know, how do we move forward from here? Loving each other as deeply as we do and recognizing that our lives don't fit together. And it triggered so much for us. It was such an interesting process. It was so intense in so many ways. And there were pieces where he would get triggered, and there was pieces where I would get triggered, and we would help each other through these moments and kind of understand each other and ourselves better through this whole experience. And as we discovered that really we were going to part ways, and we decided to do that in the best possible way that we could, we made a commitment to empowering each other. We made a commitment to really letting our love for each other lift the other one up into the best possible expression for that person. And this is like living through the heart. This is that courage. And when I say courage, I mean also the typical way that we think of it, where it's something coming up for us that's so scary, and we have the ability to meet that fear and to go through anyways. And so that's what we typically think about with courage. We have this background story of the heart with courage that is actually where we get that strength to go through the challenging and scary moments. And so it was challenging and scary for us to separate because there was so much beauty in our relationship and because we loved each other so deeply. And we had to face that those challenges right along the way at each moment. And what I discovered, what I noticed in our separating process is that there were a million little micro opportunities to take the lower road. There are a million little opportunities to spin out into the mind, into blame or jealousy or worry or resentment or all of the things that you kind of would typically associate with a breakup. And each one of us had opportunities for that, and they came up along the way in little moments. And what I discovered is that as soon as we were able to start recognizing those as opportunities to get off the path or opportunities to close down our hearts, then we were able to support each other in keeping the heart open and expressing the feelings and still showing up to support each other. And, so many opportunities where we would want to kind of shut down, where we'd have this automatic response where we'd want to push the other person away or shut them down. And as we made that commitment deeper and deeper and deeper to live through our hearts and to be courageous in our process with each other and to stay committed to each other's empowerment, then we were able to navigate around and through those little opportunities. And we discovered this whole new way to separate, this whole um, this whole beautiful way to separate, where we both recognize this experience unfolding. We both recognize our unique life paths unfolding, and saw that they weren't going to be together for at least this next part. And we don't know what the future holds, but we could see that they weren't supposed to be together for this next part, and that we could be open-hearted and gracious and open-handed in that whole experience of it. To say, I love you so much that I'm going to do everything in my power to support you being joyful and happy and free. And I love me so much that I'm going to do everything in my power to support myself being joyful and happy and free, which includes not taking on resentments, which includes there's nothing to forgive here. There's no reason to even go there because there's no blame. And so I just wanted to share that with you because I feel like it's a really unusual kind of way to be together and an unusual way to separate, and that we have just such an abundance of modeling and examples of unhealthy ways to separate. And we were just graced with the most beautiful experience over this spring as we did separate, and that I want to offer to you as a tool and a resource and a gift for your own work and development in relationships. And I also want to show you this beautiful thing that I found, which is a symbol, I think, of the heart and a symbol of courage. This is the bottom jaw of an elk I found out here in the desert. And the elk nation is a nation of the heart, a nation of family. And so, such a beautiful gift to find today as I wanted to make this video for you. So much love to all of you, and so much deep prayer and wish that you all are able to live with open hearts. You're able to learn about yourself more deeply, about spirit more deeply, and about each other more deeply as you come into and move out of relationships with those beautiful, strong, courageous hearts. Many blessings.